I don't know if anyone will ever understand what it feels like to be surrounded by everything and still feel like you have nothing. My name is Grace Williams. I am 38 years old, and for 12 years, I have been married to Richard Williams. If you live in Lagos, you probably know his name. He's the kind of man who walks into a room and everyone stands up. He's built an empire from nothing, and now we live in a house that looks like a palace, marble floors, gold chandeliers, a garden that stretches as far as the eye can see. People look at us and see perfection. They see the cars, the parties, the staff in crisp uniforms. They see me, always dressed well, always smiling. But they don't see the emptiness inside me. They don't see the way I lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering what I did wrong. I used to believe that love was enough. When Richard and I got married, I thought we could face anything together. He was my best friend, my protector, my everything. I remember our wedding day, how he looked at me as if I was the only woman in the world. I remember the promises we made, the dreams we shared. We talked about children, about filling our home with laughter and tiny footsteps. I decorated the nursery myself, painting the walls a soft yellow, buying little shoes and toys, waiting for the day our baby would come. But the years passed, and nothing happened. Every month, I waited. Every month, I hoped. And every month, I was disappointed. At first, Richard was patient. He would hold me and say, "Grace, don't worry. God's time is the best." But as the years went by, I saw the change in his eyes. The patience turned to frustration, the love turned to distance. He stopped coming home early. He stopped holding me at night. Sometimes, I would find him sitting alone in the garden, staring into space, lost in his thoughts. I tried everything. I went to doctors, pastors, herbalists. I drank bitter roots, fasted, prayed, cried. I did everything they told me to do. But nothing worked. The house grew quieter, colder. The staff started to whisper behind my back. I could feel their eyes on me, their pity, their judgment. In our culture, a woman without a child is nothing. Even with all the money in the world, I felt worthless. Last week, my younger sister, Emily, called me. She said, "Grace, I want to come for your anniversary. I miss you." I was happy. I needed someone to talk to, someone who would understand. Emily is 10 years younger than me. She's always been the baby of the family, beautiful, full of life, always laughing. She's the kind of person who lights up a room just by walking in. I used to protect her when we were children. Now, I needed her to protect me. When I saw her at the airport, I almost cried. She hugged me so tight, I felt like a child again. She smelled like home, like soap and oranges. She talked all the way home, telling me about her job, her friends, her dreams. I listened, but my mind was far away, lost in memories and regrets. That night, we had dinner together. I watched them as they talked and laughed. Richard was different. He smiled more, laughed more. He looked at Emily in a way I hadn't seen in years. I tried to join in, but my words felt heavy, like stones in my mouth. I felt invisible, like a ghost haunting my own home. After dinner, I went to bed early. I lay there, listening to the rain, listening to their voices downstairs. They were laughing. I wanted to believe it was nothing, but my heart was beating so fast, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, counting the seconds, wishing I could turn back time. The next morning, I found Emily in the kitchen, making pancakes. Richard was there, smiling. He said, "Emily, you make the best pancakes." I stood there, feeling like a stranger in my own house. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But I just smiled and said, "I'm glad you're enjoying yourself." Days passed. Emily decided to stay longer. She said she wanted to help me, to keep me company. But I saw the way Richard looked at her. I saw the way she smiled at him. I tried to tell myself it was just my imagination, but the feeling grew stronger every day. One afternoon, I found Emily crying in her room. I sat beside her and asked, "What's wrong?" She wiped her tears and said, "Nothing, I just miss home." I hugged her, but I felt something was wrong. I wanted to ask more, but I was afraid of the answer. That night, I sat in the nursery, holding a tiny pair of shoes. I prayed. I begged God to give me a sign, to show me what to do. I felt so alone, so lost. The next morning, Emily said she was feeling sick. She looked pale, weak. I insisted we go to the hospital. She didn't want to, but I forced her. At the hospital, the doctor ran some tests. We waited in silence. Emily was shaking. I held her hand, but she pulled away. When the doctor came out, he called Emily aside. She came back, her face white as chalk. I asked, "What did he say?" She just shook her head and said, "Let's go home." I knew she was hiding something, but I didn't have the strength to fight. That night, Richard came home late. He didn't look at me. I asked, "Is everything okay?" He said, "I'm tired, Grace. Don't start." His words were like ice. I sat alone in the dark, listening to the rain. I held my wedding photo, tracing Richard's face with my finger. I remembered the man I married, the man who promised to love me forever. I wondered where he went. I wondered if he would ever come back. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know if my marriage can survive this storm. But I know one thing, I am not ready to give up. Not yet. If you are listening to me, please pray for me. Pray that I find the strength to face whatever comes next. Pray that I find myself again.